Hello, hello, hello. How's it going, everyone? Welcome. Hopefully, you've had a good Friday. Gonna do a little sound check here. Okay, I still look or still sound good. I look questionable, but still sound good. How y'all doing this fine Friday? Hopefully, you have been doing good and you've had a good week. I've had a good week. Um, yeah, did some good work progress. Doing some planning, had some fun playing with coworkers last night and doing a Zoom kind of like get together slash gaming, playing a game, not gaming, but playing a game. Yeah, it was a lot of fun and yeah, lots of good, lots of good. So I cannot complain, cannot complain. Um, so yeah, so what is going on today? That we talk a little bit, start doing a little bit of conversation and planning around some ideas I have for work to do in the future. So that should be interesting, maybe fun. We're gonna plan out a new idea rolling off of the work we had done with the Elixir package written in the Notion package written in Elixir. Words are hard, by the way. Words are very hard. Yeah. So, without further ado, let's get to talking about it. So, you had been, if you've been on the stream previously, probably within the not last stream, but previous streams in the past, probably like a good like 10 or so streams we've done. I was working on the stream closed captioners reminder features working. Nice. I wanted to test that. Very nice. I can dig it. So let's turn that on. Heck yeah. Heck freaking yeah, man. Love it when something works. Mm. So yeah, previously was working on an Elixir package to interact with to make it a little bit easier to interact with the Notion API. I wanted to kind of snowball off of that idea and try working on application that uses it that does nice little Notion features that I personally wish existed in Notion, both my wife and I, and for other people to do. So I want to make just like a little app that has individual little things, individual little features, individual little features that it can do that integrates with Notion, and yeah. That's basically it. Just we'll start small. We'll work on one feature at a time and kind of build out different things. So, what do I mean by one feature at a time? Little things. I mean, for one, is a common thing is if you've if you've ever used Notion, uh, the Notion has. Let me try. Let me try switching over. So. I can actually demonstrate what I'm talking about, but first, apparently I have to log in. Great. There we go. So yeah, so with Notion, you can organize different things. One thing that's really popular to try to do with Notion is to try to use Notion to do like self-planning, journaling, all that type of stuff. But one of the, at least personally, the annoying thing I find with Notion is if you're trying to like create, a you know a bullet journal, a journal, or like a task list to do like per day, you have to like recreates. You can't have reoccurring tasks, reoccurring things show up. They all have to be triggered, created organically by you. So if you have like a to do for something like that, that's supposed to recur every day because you just you want a very structured life and like have reminders to do certain things every day. Like I don't know, let's say like take out the trash every day. Like always have a task that to kind of remind you to carve out the day. You have to remember to kind of like duplicate that. Like you have to template it, duplicate it, and you have to template it and then manually duplicate it. So one of the first things I wanted to try to build out and with an Elixir Phoenix application was to just create kind of like a reoccurring task creator. So you have you configure it to create a task for you, just with a couple fields. I don't like, with the name, and then it will and then you can set the interval for when it will create it. So if you want it to create that task every day, it will go and create that task every day inside your database, because that's how you typically would track things inside the database, inside one of your database tables right here. So yeah, you would just configure it, and every day it would go in and create that task. And so you have so you have a reoccurring task every day that you can check off that it has been done, or if you want to do it like every once a week or so, um, that's the way also. So that's kind of like the things that I want to do. I was talking with my coworker slash friend of the stream, Builder Argus, and he was talking about it would be really cool also like for an idea to have um, actual kind of like to do task reminders to detect whether someone has provided an entry into a table. So if you have, if you're running an organization, a company, whatever it is, and you want status updates, or you need someone to put an entry in at the end of the week, the beginning of the week, at some point in the week, maybe even once a month, uh, you want it like for it to be able to detect whether someone has entered in that information, then it can send like an email to them to remind them to go do that. That's another type of feature that we could try to figure out how to build out, and we can just keep on going with that, trying to build off one feature at it, one little feature at a time, for to make life with Notion a little bit more automated. So that's the overarching idea of where I want to go with this. Off in the background, I decided to do a brew update, so it's going through and upgrading a bunch of library dependencies that I have. So it's just been progressively going through each one. um, so we're just letting it. While we're talking and chatting, we're just letting it kind of go through that and do its thing with that. But yeah, so so what I want to do is create a brand new project. And this is going to be an Elixir Phoenix project. And we're just going to go ahead and thinking about just starting this from scratch. An Elixir Phoenix project, 100% from scratch. I want to make sure to have, looks like we have the latest Elixir. We're on Elixir 1.13, I believe is the latest on my computer. Or yes, allow. Here, Elixir programming language. Let's see what version. Yeah, so we're on Elixir version 1.13. Great. And let's actually just go through the list. So let's go bare bones in terms of starting off this new project. And I'm going to just go through the guides to kick off our project. So we are going to go through the guides. So I believe we should already have Elixir already installed. Yep. Postgres is, we're going to be using Postgres for our database. Applications guide. And then get up and running. We might need to upgrade a PHX new. So let's see, mix PHX new. Let's see if we can easily grab a version. So Phoenix 162, and we're on version 166. That seems decent enough. So can we update? What versions of what actions do we have? Mix help. Maybe we should go ahead and try to upgrade our dependency. Install. Let's see if we do mix steps update PHX. Okay. Let's see. It's all Phoenix generator. That doesn't work. I wonder if just doing a regular archive install will install the latest. Hey Lily, how's it going? How has your week been? You have any good wins? I've been looking at your tweets about your 100 days of code, and it looks like you're doing awesome. You got a job offer? Oh my god. It just came in. That is phenomenal. So what's the job? Tell us. Share. That's so awesome. That's so freaking awesome. Are you sure you want to replace PHX new? Yes. That's so awesome. Here we go. This one too. Can't share quite yet, but it's exciting and still in the community management space. Okay. But that's so awesome. New opportunities. That's so cool. How difficult? So how was the interview process, just in general, from what you can share? So stoked. This was 2 weeks full of stress and anxiety, and it's finally getting resolved and figured out. Yes. So freaking awesome. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and try to highlight this. Very, very surprisingly clear. I was working to job, so I had a telephone screen, written assignment, and a big old day long interview. Ooh, yeah, those big long interviews. Yikes. Company was so organized and transparent. It was a pleasure. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Feels good, man. Feels absolutely good. Love it. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. It's a true feels good, man. Way to end the week. Mm, yeah. Heck yeah. Heck freaking yeah. Going into the weekend, head held high and learning. So you've been learning. So you've been focusing on CSS this week. Um, is there anything new that you've learned from CSS or rediscovered that you forgot about with CSS? Went from the worst day at work to the fantastic news. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. Don't let work keep you down. Life is way more than just work, right? Heck yeah. All right. Okay, so we're gonna create this project. Let's call this project Notion helpers. That's gonna be the project. Notion helpers. So I finally understand. So let's take a look at this. So I finally understand specificity with CSS, which was something that really tripped me up. Same with the box model. This weekend, I'm hoping to start planning on some smaller projects out rather than just follow tutorials. And soon I will dive into JS. Cool. The specificity thing is always something that is easily forgotten and hard to remember because I know about the specificity thing, but CSS is one of those things that I hardly ever touch, so I always forget. I know it exists, and I always forget the formula for it. I saw uh Lionel or Leon was covering that on that one day he was the other day when he was streaming, so that was really cool. Um, and the box model is another interesting thing. Yeah, cool. It's always good to just kind of remember that in your back pocket because it play like specificity. Most of the time, specificity won't really get in your way. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it does, and it's good to remember specificity because a lot of people, what happens is you fall into the trap of doing exclamation mark important on the different the different attributes for your CSS within your rule. And you don't want to do that. That's like the last resort. Or litter with important. Yeah. So figuring out the specificity helps immensely to do that. And then the box models is great because when you're styling things, things are always annoying and stuff like that. Yeah, but yeah, CSS is one of those weird ones where it's a little bit difficult to figure out like a project to do. One thing you could try, I'm not sure if you looked at it yet, but if I'm not sure if you heard about it, but there was the advent of CSS. So a spinoff on advent of code. There was the advent of CSS. So I'm not sure if that is still up, or if you can see the challenges or not. Because it'd be really cool if you could. And Amy is one of my coworkers, and she has her own podcast, Compressed FM. And she was running this advanced CSS. I remember there was a bunch of challenges for that, so it'd be cool to try to do. If you can't think of anything to make with CSS, it'd be cool. Oh, you signed up for it, so it'd be cool to try to do the challenges. So you don't have to start from scratch in terms of figuring out. You got super distracted work. Yeah, so try revisiting the challenges and try doing them yourself. That could be a good that's a good way, so you don't have to worry about the cognitive load of figuring out what to do. You already have something to do and a goal to have, because as we all know, when doing your own thing, it's just coming up with the idea. Idea is the hardest part. Front end and dev. Let's take a look at that. And your friend again. Connect to our other job board. Oh. Have you done this format kind of reminds me of, well, this is cool that these are actionable things. This kind of reminds me of the Odin project. You probably heard of the Odin project already, but I don't think you have. Oh, so Odin project has these set curriculums on like JavaScript. So this is like specific. So when you get into JavaScript, they have these set curriculums for doing. I guess here he has like lessons on HTML, CSS, and then lessons on JavaScript, advanced HTML, CSS, Node.js. So more kind of like actionable stuff to do to create stuff. Like there you go. Like, and then there is one more learning resource that is problem solving based. Whatever reason, I got to log in again. Oh, because I'm on private browsing. That's why. Let's look at the learning and Stoof. The name is leaving me right now. Exorcism. So if you haven't come across Exorcism yet, Exorcism has a bunch of learning tracks also. And they are just straight up, you're doing the problem solving. So like for Ruby right here, they're not exactly teaching you anything. They are just the problems themselves. So, they give you the problem, and then you have to actually come up with the solution. The cool thing about the exorcism is that you can opt to have a mentor, so someone can code review you in terms of your solutions and give you feedback if you're seeking that. But you can go independent and not need a mentor if you just want to kind of go through that. The nice thing that's changed about Exorcism is before Exorcism, you had to have the code, the compiler or the interpreter or whatever it is, like Node installed, Ruby installed, whatever it was. With the latest huge update that they did, you can do it all in the browser. You can open up the editor in the browser and execute the code in the browser. So there's even less friction for you to actually do these exercises and follow these tracks, because you don't have to have the stuff installed on your computer. So if you're looking for if you're looking for a place to, yeah, it reminds you a bit about Code Academy. So this one's purely focused on doing the challenges and less about teaching you. It's kind of like teaching you through the challenges. So it's test problem driven. I guess the best way to put it on it is problem driven learning. They give you a problem with an objective, then you have to go and seek the information in order to solve the problem. Versus like Code Academy and stuff like that, where it's like they're telling you everything, and then you have to go and do it, and then you just do it and you kind of forget. So it's like they give you the challenge, and then you have to go and figure it out. And I did a little bit of exorcism. You can see like right here, I did a little bit of the challenges here and there just to play with it. Yeah, I jumped around and did these exercises. So yeah, lots of learning, lots of different websites here for learning. This front end dev eval thing is seems like another great one. So I'm just going to go ahead and bookmark this in the list as another awesome resource. So education. Resources. There you go. There it is right there on the, it's added in, and this is web development. Thanks for sharing that resource, Lily. All right. Let's get into the Notion Helpers project. This Ecto create might not work right away because I don't have Postgres installed, at least not the. We need to configure this project because I don't like having a lot of. So if you've been with the stream long enough, you know I don't like having everything being forced to be installed on my computer. I love to Dockerize things. So we're gonna go ahead and Dockerize this application to be compatible with VS Code. So we're going to use the VS Code code spaces type configuration to run things within on our computer. So anyone could, as long as they have Docker installed and they're using VS Code, they can. Well, technically they don't need VS Code, but as long as they have VS Code, they can get this application up and running. So that's what we're going to do right now. So I had I generated this application. So we're going to try to use, we're going to use dev containers. We're going to add a dev container configuration so we can run this application without worry about having the proper dependencies installed locally. So we're gonna go that. We're gonna go to all dependencies, and there should be an Elixir one. There is a base Elixir one, and then there's an Elixir Phoenix Postgres one. And the reason why I know there's an Elixir Phoenix Postgres one is because I actually helped contribute this one and get it merged in, get it all fixed up and merged in. So very cool. Alrighty, so we're just gonna start with the basic extension configuration. I think we don't need the ports anymore, but we'll figure things out. Let's see so the Elixir version that we're dependent on. Let's take a look here. So we just got to make sure to match up our Elixir versions, our Elixir dependencies properly. So this one is dependent on Elixir 1.12, it looks like. But let's go ahead and try to get this running on version 1.3. And we're gonna go ahead and try to get this running on Elixir version 1.13. What version of Phoenix are we running? We're running version Phoenix 1.6.2, 1.6.2. And we're not going to be running a node version because the latest version of Phoenix doesn't need node anymore. It's not it's going to be it uses ES build. And then and then in this also we're installing Postgres in here to be used as one of our volumes. So that's cool. And take a look at the Docker file just to make sure things are working. So we're overwriting the version of Elixir. We're overwriting this version, or we're specifying our own version of Elixir here. And I believe everything should be good. So hopefully everything works good. We just used the template file. We tweaked it just a little bit because we wanted to use Elixir version 1.13. And let's go ahead and reopen this in the container. So what VS Code's going to do is it's going to look at that file that we specified, a dev container file, and it's going to build a Docker container for our using the Docker file, using the Docker compose file, and using the dev container file. It is going to try to build the Docker image. It's going to pull down the Docker image, build the container to create our little virtualized development environment. Since we're using Elixir 1.13, that's not installed locally. So I have to go and fetch it. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm working on my local machine for this one, but what I am doing is I configured the project to use a dev container configuration. So it's going to all the requirements, the dependency requirements that are for Postgres and stuff like that are going to be running in Docker, not actually installed on my computer. Because I don't know if you've ever had the chance to experience this yet, but if you've ever tried to pull down a project off of GitHub, like a web project, like a Node project, and it's like you can't get it up and running because you need this version of Node installed, you need this version of these global packages installed, you need MySQL installed on your computer, but you need the specific version of MySQL. That's all cruft that needs to be installed on your computer. Doing this dev container route, everything is configured to be inside of Docker. So as long as the dev container file is there and you're using VS Code, if you were to pull down the same project, you could launch it using the dev container configuration, and it will just go and install all those dependencies inside that little Docker image, little Docker container, and you're up and running. Without actually ever having to install something into your computer itself. Because one of the difficult things about installing things onto your computer itself is, so like let's take the version of Node, for example. Let's say that one project needs to be running a Node version that's smaller, and it's not compatible with the new major version of Node. So you have two different projects that have to do two different Node versions. One workaround for that is to use NVM Node Version Manager to swap between them. But if they were Dockerized, you'd never have to worry about like which node version is installed and which one you're using because they're inside their Dockerized virtualized environments, like you said, virtual machines. Basically, they're encapsulated. Yeah, so like exactly like virtual machines. Cool, and it looks like everything installed properly. So now we're in. So we know we're in our dev container because it says so right here. So we're inside our dev container right here. We have Elixir version 1.3 installed or 1.13 installed. Everything should be really good. Yeah, we have version 1.3.2. Let's see what version of Elixir. Okay, so on our regular computer, we still have a Elixir version 1.3.2 because that's the latest probably. Yeah. But if we say which Elixir, I'm curious to see which. It might be the same install path too. User local bin. So even though they look the same, they're not the same because this is inside the Docker environment, which is really weird. Yeah, so now we have all our dependencies installed in this Docker environment, and we're kind of good to go for the next steps for our application. So I should be able to reliably say ecto create, and because we have our own little database here. Nice. And let's go ahead and test PHX server just to see if everything is going to be up and running. One thing I always forget to do, and I need to make a pull request into the template, is to add this in. Is here muted while enemy. Sorry, start my life. Yeah, welcome, Builder Argus. All right, so looks like it's building everything. Oh, build finish, watching for changes. So let's see if we got like our there we go. Nice. All right, we got our application up and running. All righty. All right, next, let's add in. We're going to need, so this application is going to need authentication because a user is going to want to come in. We want to be able to use login and configure their own projects to their own settings because each person's going to have their own Notion. They're going to walk in and they have their own settings of what they want Notion to do. There's no point in having like a global thing if you can't scope it to individual users, and also security reasons, because different people are going to have to connect to different applications. So let us generate the users model. What is going on there? You see that? That's kind of weird. Why is that duplicated? I'll put this. Let's see. Did we get anything weird like with double users or anything like that? No. Okay, good. Lily, do you happen to use Notion for yourself, or do you use any other type of, or do you just use regular old notebook for self-organization? Pen and paper, gotcha. Please refresh dependencies the following command. And run mix ecto migrate. Heard about fantastic things about Notion though? You have 7 active notebooks. Ooh, like personal, like notebooks, hand notebooks that you're organizing yourself with. All right, Gooseman bot. That is, yup, has nothing to do with just with anything. All right, we're running the migration for the users model. So what I just run here is a special generator that basically adds in pre-built authentication into the into Phoenix. I would say that this is relatively new within the past year, maybe even less than that. Before, this generator was a separate utility, but I guess they decided like, hey, let's just add this in directly in with Elixir, with Phoenix, with the Phoenix framework, and have this, because this is a common thing that you need to do. You need to be able to generate user login authentication stuff, and instead of people trying to figure out how to do it, why not do it in a very um, transparent and open way, and that's following all the best practices. Uh, I replaced Evernote with Notion a while back, but my personal use is still limited to creating pages of lists. But to each their own, right? Because probably we're just doing that with Evernote anyway. All right, so we did that. We need to verify the database connection details. Okay, everything's already set up. Let's run some tests, like they say. We have a notebook for the 100 day of code. That's really cool. So you're kind of like doing bullet journaling for your 100 day of code daily, which is cool. I tried using OneNote also, but so OneNote is like really nice and flexible, but also like certain things are just very difficult to work with. I don't know, it's like repositioning and moving things around. I tried really hard to use it, but it just didn't, like there was a certain things that were just not clicking. uh oh, Gooseman bot. That's interesting. Okay. This is we're going on a side tangent adventure, but let's figure out what's going on with Gooseman bot real quick. So I'm gonna switch over to this screen, and let's go over to Azure, to the Q&A maker. I feel like someone on for cutting down forests though. I feel bad about paper use, but I do get recycled paper notebooks. I also write handwritten postcards and letters once a month to people I know. Oh, that's so sweet. And I mean, you're doing recycling, so that's you know, you're doing good. I watched this video of someone making recycled paper. Like they took old paper, like they blended it down, they put it into like pasty mush stuff, and then they like put it on like a silk screeny thing and like dried it out, and it looked really nice. It looked like like that kind of like that grainy like I don't know. It looked exactly like you buy it from the store though, like that kind of like the recycled like postcard card paper where it's like kind of like a little bit fuzzy and like a little ripply, and it has like little different color textures on it. Um, yeah. Okay, so I'm logged into the Q&A maker here, and yeah, let's not burn our retinas. So let's figure out what's going on here. Or let's see what happens when we are testing this. So I'm just saying yup, and let's see what it matches on. So yup. So let's figure this out. So yup, and it determined that it needs to respond back with this, which is what we're seeing. Wow, it thinks that this is like it thinks this is good for a 99%. It thinks it's supposed to respond with this for with 99% confidence. I wish I can like bop it and tell it. And let's take a look at this rule here. What happens if I don't want this to be appropriate response? Let me see. So I'm pretty sure this has to relate it to yo. Let's see, where is it here? So it thinks it's matching because of sup, I'm pretty sure. What's up, what up, sup, and then you're saying yup. So it's matching yup with sup. So that's not good. So it'd be nice to be able to tell it like that, no, I don't want it to do that. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. So we're gonna be changing this, and we're gonna add a new rule in here, a new Q&A here. So if you say yup, it's gonna respond back with nodders. Nodders is a Better Twitch TV emote, animated emote. So if you don't have Better Twitch TV installed, it will you won't see it. So I'm gonna go ahead and save this real quick. So I'm gonna kind of bring this at the screen, because if I save this, sometimes it shows credentials and stuff like that. So yeah, you're too fast. I didn't click the button yet. And then let's publish that. Yeah, I know. All right, so now yup should work. There you go. So this is Q&A maker is like, I'm using this as like a fun little thing to like have like the bot try to be a little bit interactive with trying to understand certain things that are said and trying to respond back with it. But the actual usage of this of Q&A maker is actually as those the main application for this usage is actually as a help tool. So whenever you go on a site and they're kind of like, hey, like they have a little chat box here, like type here to ask questions or whatever. this is what it's for. So it uses kind of like a machine learning. You put in the phrases, the questions, and then it can answer that question, and then you can do a follow-up prompt to then ask it like for further details. So you can guide a person kind of like with the automated phone system, but this is through text. You can kind of guide somebody to an answer using this. There's also a tool like this. You can also import in like a knowledge base, like an FAQ page. Like you can import it in to try to automate that too. So you could, so it's designed to be an automated assistant for you to ask questions and figure and help clients without having for them to not have to go and call customer support. Hopefully, by asking the bot questions, it can guide them to the correct answer. Actually this product is for, but we're using it for chat for memes basically. Alrighty. So we generated all sorts of awesomeness. Let's go ahead and get this app up and running again. Do, 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 do. Let's look at our routes. We generated stuff. Let's look at our routes. So this generated the models, our account contacts to go fetch a user, a bunch of login stuff, even like to do email delivery for stuff. A user notifier, the token for a user so we can log in and persist. The user table itself. Gonna get going for now. If you're still on when I'm back, I'll swing by again. If not, have a great weekend. You too. Have a great weekend, and again, congratulations on that job offer. Woo! Hey, look, we got a login button and a register button. Actually, let's see. Oopsie. Okay, so I mean, our app is up and running. We can register, we can log in, we can do all that awesome stuff. Alrighty then. So we're just kind of getting the bare bones of everything in here to get our application started. Let's initialize and publish this to a repository. Notion helpers. So this is going to publish to my repository. Let's see it go. Open on the GitHubs. There we go. Our application is there. And since we have our application here, we're going to try creating a new project board. Like spreadsheets, project tables, it gives you a live canvas. Add a project to appear in your list or go to your projects to create a new one. Here, let's try doing the new beta version of the project boards. This is interesting. I haven't used this feature yet. So, okay. Notion helpers. We're going to make this public. Okay. Interesting. So we can do a list view or a board view. Okay, so this is the board view is what I'm familiar with. Okay. All right, let's go back to the Notion helpers project. Let's see if we can add it in. There we go. Okay. So let's see. So let's just start filling in items to do. So we did user let's already outline the stuff that we already did so we can just get some wins in the bucket. This is a draft. Okay. User authentication. That's done. Configure. So the next thing we should do is configure the thin Notion API package. So we'll go ahead and convert this to an issue. It's kind of I wish it just knew because I linked. It's interesting how you can make a project board and just like link the issues across the different projects really easily. So that's nice. If this was like 2 years ago, I would have really liked this. Oh, can I not like... Oh, I can't like edit this. The project board on the actual repository, you can actually edit the information in place. This I can't. What happens if I add the details here then? So so we need install thin Notion API package and create a new application in integration for people to install or to add integration on Notion. Add in new credential. Add in credentials application. So does that end up showing up here? It doesn't. Okay, so the new boards I don't like. I might just delete this board and just stick with the traditional one for now, because it's too much back and forth. Because if I create a board here, and then let's just call it the project board, and then to-do board. New column in progress. And then finally, like finished or done. Let's call it done. Merge. Cool. So I need to add this. To my project board over here. That. And then this project board is going to go bye-bye. It's just too much work. I'll use this if I'll use it if I need to do cross project to-dos, which I do need to do. Because this is what this was here. So yeah, like I like this because the way it does this, but okay. See, and then I can look at the settings here. So this is why I want this as like my one-stop shop for everything. So then after this, let's story out the first recurring task. Or plan out recurring task story. Let's rephrase it that way. So let's set this to in progress, and let's go ahead and try installing the Notion API package. So that is Sneeze. All right, let's get to it. So let's go to let's do this like as we were a regular dev. Let's look up the package, the Notion API. And let's look up the documentation. So dependency is the Notion API version 1.0.0 in our mix EXS. What I'm going to do here before that is sort. Mix steps get. So there we go. We got our dependencies coming in. Then Notion API version 1.0. Next, we go over to our config EXS. And we add in that. So we're looking for environment variables for our thin Notion API key and our thin Notion version. So our application won't work until we have this options set. Let's go ahead and just close a couple of things here. Okay, here we go. Hey, they updated their docs. Yeah, look. They updated the docs. You can actually do requests in here now. Ooh, look, they have a generator so you can do a bunch of different languages too. Fancy. No Elixir though. Feels bad, man. All right, so I'm gonna go to my integrations and I'm gonna create a brand new integration for this. I forget if this might show sensitive information. So we're just gonna go ahead and switch here. Yeah, this screen's fine. So I went to my integrations and we're gonna be creating a public integration. So we're gonna create a new integration. We're gonna make it public. I forget if I'd be very careful with what is shown here. Okay. So Notion helpers is the name of our app. Associated workspace. Hmm. I want to create a public integration. I'm not sure if there's a distinction. Select the workspace to install this integration too. You can upgrade OAuth later. Okay. Do not request any user information. Read user information without email address. Read user information. Oh my. Here, let's here, we got the other sound for this too. Breaking news, Justin, folks. Breaking news, Justin. I repeat, breaking news, Justin. We have just been rated by the one, the only Clark IO or Clarkio, coming in with 23 raiders. Coming in hot in the chat. What's up, Frackberg? How's it going, Clarkio? Thank you very much for the raid. Greatly appreciate that. How you doing? How was the stream? You got some good dancing in? How you feeling better? I know you're like, Rufio from Hook. Rufio. Yep. But how y'all doing? How's the week been? How's the stream? You got anything? Hopefully your week's been really good, and hopefully you got some good bragging. You got some You got something positive to say about what happened this week. One small thing, at least. One thing for me is my strategy for losing weight has been working. So for the past couple of weeks, I've been feeling good because I've been losing weight, and it's like, heck yeah. Dev got some dancing in. Oh, heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Partially inspired by Rufio. Nice. That is great. That is great inspiration. We got a bunch of snow and I'm feeling my age. That's funny. And also, because I can relate. We're planning on going to Disneyland in a couple of weeks, and I'm pretty sure like I might end up feeling my age at the end of the day in terms of like exhaustion or soreness potentially. So we'll see. If you can't laugh at your own pain and others' pain, then I don't know what. Well, welcome to the stream, everyone. Welcome to the Azil water cooler hour, where we're taking the moment at work to go ahead and stream and chat and work on some code and just talk about stuff. Maybe provide a little bit of mentoring, a little bit of insight, or a little bit of cheer me up stuff. That's the good, and that's what the goal is for the stream. So yeah, when we are coding in the stream, we're kicking off a brand new project, and the project is called Notion Helpers. So I want to make a little app that's using the Notion package that I created in Elixir, and I'm going to try to build out a little web app that will make tools to automate certain things in Notion that I wish Notion did but doesn't do. So the first thing that we're going to try to tackle in the application is to do reoccurring tasks in Notion. So if you've ever used Notion, everything's manual. You can't like create new tasks like every day, every week, or whatever it is. So I want to make a little app that just does that. It just goes and you can try to we'll figure it out, but we're going to try to create a little app that you can configure it so that it can create a database item for you. So basically it's a brand new task, a brand new item to do for like a to-do list and stuff like that. So that's what I want to. That's the first thing we want to do, and we're going to try to get there by doing all the scaffold. We're scaffolding up the application. We added authentication really easily. Now we're going to try to create the Notion integration application for it. Yeah. So let's see here. We were just doing that. Create new integration, blah, blah, blah. Read content, update content, insert content. Yeah, and then let's see. Should we ask for user? Do we need to ask for user information? Request access to user information, not including email address. I don't think we actually need user information because they're just gonna unless we want to somehow do login with Notion, but I don't think I want to do that. I think I just want them to just log in with the username and password and then connect to Notion. I really, really dislike having to ask for too much information. Just keep it to the bare minimum, the essentials. We're not here to scrape information and try to sell it. Yuck. Yuck. Okay, I'm gonna hide my screen over here so we can take a look at some stuff here. Okay, so I guess what I'm going to do first when we're developing this integration is we're just going to keep it internal, because if we make it external, if we make it public, it's going to require review and then it's going to add it to the gallery and stuff like that. But I feel like we can get a lot done just doing things internally for now, just to test certain functionality. But what's up, Lacoste? How you doing? Look at that emote. I like that emote. Top-notch quality right there. So yeah, we'll just keep it to internal for now, and then we'll try to expand on that later. All right, so what I need to do is I need to take that token, and we're gonna need the API key, and then the Notion version, the version of the Notion API that we would be using. Trying to think here. Because we need to load our environment with the environment variable. But I don't think... I remember looking this up before. Phoenix framework. Load. Oh, my keyboard is on the fritz again. Might have to buy a new keyboard because my keyboard is weird right now. Live code review if you need it. I mean, you haven't been coding for a while, Panda. Who knows what your code looks like now? You're on the same boat as Builder Argus. You're all on the. We're reviewing my code. Spoken like a true manager. Let's see. So I want to look. I know we've looked this up before. I want to look it up again. So my keyboard's doing something really weird that I haven't figured out why. But sometimes there is it will just only on the Mac, mind you. It'll just start randomly typing out text, the command buffer or whatever it is on the keyboard gets screwed up, and it just starts typing out stuff I previously typed out. I have to unplug the keyboard and plug it back in, and it's fine. It's really weird. And it just like, I don't know, like, yeah, this is really weird. Doesn't do it on Windows. It only dabs on Mac. What type of keyboard? It is a Kinesis gaming keyboard. The Kinesis gaming keyboard. I guess we can do it. I guess we'll do this strategy where we'll just do this dev secret. Because this is the idiomatic way to do it. So let's just follow this way. I've done this way in the past. We'll just stick with it. And we're going to bring in this over here. Then we're going to add in the thingamajigger. And then for the dev exs, we add that to the bottom. So what happens here is this is the default configuration. The default configuration then loads in the configuration based off the environment. So then the dev exs comes in here, overwrites what's been written in the config exs, and then it will then import the secrets file that actually has the configuration, and then this will be the actual key, and then we'll never open up this file again. And if we ever open it up on stream, we'll just burn down the stream. That's just the way it goes. Time to get the... Nope. I love split keyboards. I don't like tiny ones like this. It looks nice. But this is, I don't like these small keyboards like this. Yeah, ErgoDox is probably the ErgoDox family of keyboards is where I more lean to. Like all fashion, you gotta suffer for it. ErgoDox. I love making keys. Yeah, so this is the I have the Kinesis Gaming. Beep, 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 beep. I mean, I really like it. And I like the Kinesis brand of keyboards. I also have the Kinesis Advantage too. But I need to use that more. It's just that I don't know, my desk setup doesn't promote it, me swapping back and forth to it. All right, I'm gonna switch to this screen. Actually, let's switch to the secret screen. Shh. I need to set the key. Voice coding. You dang straight. ASMR coding. Oh, wait, no, ASMR coding is the sound of the keyboard. So it's like... I'm not sure how that sounded, by the way. So that's configured, that's updated. Config exs. This, that's fine. And then we're going to specify the Notion version. Close that down. Okay. There we go. But Hacker, welcome to the chat. Glad to have you here. All right. So what is our version date? Authentication, versioning. So that's the version of the API we're using. I work with Clarkio, the keyboard maker and security guy. Clarkio, the security guy. Mm, 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 mm. I just picture him spinning in his chair, like, dancing. Alrighty. We got that installed in. And let's go ahead and try to run this. So -x phx. Ooh, undefined function config on line 404. Let's see. So we did that. Oh, maybe we have to import the config here. So I need to hide this so I can properly import in the dependency in the secrets file for the config. Oh, I mean, I'm actually a security guy and keyboard maker. Okay, then Hacker, the keyboard guy, the security guy, and keyboard maker. Hack, 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 hack. Give me a second here while I finish doing this. And then you're spinning in your chair. No trust in chat. No. They're all a bunch of diabolical hackers. I mean, we got someone in the chat right now called Hacker Kyle. Except me, you can trust me. The ones that say you can trust me are the most suspicious ones out of them all. Oh my god, but please don't share secrets. Okay, so nothing fancy going on here. We're just I'm just the application has to rebuild now that we have like the new dependencies installed and the new configuration. Everything's being rebuilt because in the end, Elixir is compiled to Erlang, like to a binary. So Elixir is technically a compiled language. So that's cool. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna test this out if this works now. So let's see here. What are we gonna use to see if this works? Oh yeah, we need to add the integration to my Notion. We have to give permission to the integration to access my Notion page. So we're gonna let it go ahead and access. We'll let it access the goose nest. So actually, let's not let it access the goose nest. Let's make a brand new. It's free to add in a new workspace. Let's Notion helpers playground. And then we'll share that access with Notion helpers. And then invite. And let's see what happens. So go over here. So we can retrieve pages, update pages, delete a block, blocks. So we can search all pages, child pages that are shared with the integration. So let's just try doing a generic. Let's try seeing if we can do a generic search. And we'll just do. I'm curious about if we do empty string. Actually, let's go to this screen. Okay, so try to do a search here. We want to do the search params, and then it says failed, body sort to be an object undefined. Instead it got null. Interesting. So let me just fill this in with test, and I'm gonna try to run this again. Interesting. Validation error. Body sort should be an object or undefined. Let's see. So sort is a required field, and that's what it's complaining about. So sort should be an object or undefined, but instead it was null. Let's see what happens there. Interesting. Give me a second here. I don't remember the API being this restrictive, but coming across a bunch of like issues with with empty fields being there. If I do it this way, I mean, the whole point of going through this is to dog food our library. So if we're already coming across like a little bit of frictions with the library, it's an opportunity to make things a little bit easier. But let's try a different way. Let's retrieve a page. So thin notion, retrieve page. This one should be fairly straightforward. We want to just retrieve the page we created, which is this one. There's the ID for the page. And let's hide this. Cool. All right. Let me double check. There's no sensitive information being shown. And there we go. So we're able to, so the Notion API package is correctly configured because we were able to fetch information about that specific page that we wanted. Very, very cool. All right, so in terms of tasks in Stoof, we have our first small wins. Notion helpers. Let's go ahead and commit what we do have. So ignore secrets. We sorted all the dependencies and added the Notion, the lock file, the config exs, dev exs, and of course we do not commit the secrets because, you know, secrets. And configure thin Notion API. Very much POG, Lacoste. Very much POG. So that brings us to the end in terms of development for today. But let's do a little bit of planning about what we're going to be doing next. So we configured the Notion API package and then added the credentials. So all of that is done. The next kind of thing we need to do is start thinking about planning out the reoccurring tasks. So let's start thinking about this. So what is a reoccurring task? Let's call this the reoccurring. So this is going to be a little bit weird, but we're going to call this reoccurring task epic because this is going to encapsulate a bunch of different things. All right, so as a user, I want to be able to connect, or want to be able to connect. I want to be able to log in and connect my account to a Notion workspace. And I'll do both and connect my account to a Notion workspace in order to create a recurring task that will show up a recurring task in a database of my choice. So that's what I want. So what is a recurring task? A recurring task is a database item that will be added is a new that will be added to, I guess, let's say database, let's say new row item that'll be added to a database, because I don't want to say database too often. A recurring task. What is a recurring task? A recurring task is a new row item that will be added to a database on a set interval. Hey Lily, welcome back. On a set interval. Let's say it's a so why do we want to do this? So that I can have a daily weekly, monthly task show up automatically to make doing to-dos or similar easier. Looking for now? Yeah, we're about to sign off too at 3 o'clock, so we're just trying to story out this new thing. So as a recurring task is a new row item that will be added to a database on a set interval. So what needs to actually be done here? So need to allow a user to connect let's see. Need to allow users to connect to Notion app. This would be OAuth. A UI, so query. So we need to fetch all pages and need to fetch all databases integration has access to. Better yet, let's say allow user to select a database they would like the task to be added to. And then configure a new configure a new task that be added at a desired interval. And then finally, a background process that will trigger a background process that will add the task at the desired interval. That's kind of what needs to be done for this. Need to allow a user to connect the Notion app. This one is probably going to go last because right now we're doing private integration, so there isn't any need for OAuth. Allows users to select a database that would like to task speed. This one we can do. Configure any task that will be added to desired interval. This one we can definitely do. Back process, yeah, and this is going to be doable also. So probably break off these ones into individual task items / issues to be performed next time, and then we'll get started on these. And then along the way, we'll probably come across issues with the Notion API package that will need to be updating. So we, yeah. But thanks everyone for hanging out. Thank you, Clarkio, for the raid. Greatly appreciate that. Let's try to go find someone that we can go ahead and raid over to. If anyone has any suggestions, you are more than welcome to put that into the chat. Otherwise, I will go searching for someone to raid over to. Let's see. We got Messy Coder. Got a couple people that are live. A good couple people that are live, actually. B Dougie Yo. Yeah, that's they're at the top of the list. Take a looky see here. After the ad, of course. Dying Light 2. Alrighty. Yeah, we'll just raid over to them. Thank you for the suggestion. Greatly appreciate that, and I greatly appreciate all of you that are either lurking or participating in the chat. It doesn't make any difference to me as long as you're here lurking and enjoying the chat, enjoying the music, or enjoying the atmosphere. Thank you. I'll catch you next time. I'll be back on Sunday for the side project stream where we're going to be continue to work on Azure, using Azure's optical character recognition to convert pictures of code into text and more. So check that out if you're interested in that. It's a fun little side project, and we'll be continuing that on Sunday. So I will catch you next time, folks. See you again. Ta-ta for now.